Hi there. So, since spring is here, or at least where I am, so of course, when I'm presenting you with this, keep in mind that I live in Poland. So, you may need to adjust some of the ingredients because there is likely going to be ingredients in your area, plants in your area that you can use in the way that I am proposing that I don't have here. So what this is in front of you here is the ingredients for my salad today. And I'm going to talk to you about what these are and what they do. I already mentioned some of these briefly in my other videos when I talked about juicing herbs. So today I want to have a salad. I want to make a salad, and of course, right now a lot of these plants are young and new and very tender. So it actually is a good time. This is a good time to use these for salads because some of them will actually not really be that suitable for salads later in the year, but then I will use them for juicing. Whereas right now, there isn't really as much plant material for juicing. I'm still managing to juice mainly dandelion. I've got some good nettles already, which of course I wouldn't put a stinging nettle in a salad, so I use that for juicing. Clover as well. I've juiced this year already, but this is what I want to show you. And I really want to encourage you because you're probably paying good money for organic salads, and not to say that you can't use those ingredients alongside some organic salad leaves that you buy in the shop. But if you use these as well, you're adding such a wealth of medicinal properties. And so when we're talking about, which I will briefly mention, most of them, most plants actually, unless they are toxic and not suitable. But in terms of edible plants that we can consume, we are talking about an awful lot of different compounds that synergistically work together and make the plant into what it is in terms of the medicinal properties that it has. And so that's why when we talk about wild plants, we often mention an awful lot of different properties that they have. It is because they have those different active compounds, much like you get with essential oils, right? That you get such a wide range of things that they can be used for. So some of them I already talked about previously. I'm just gonna mention the key ones at the moment. So here we've got new shoots of Yaro. Okay, Yaro is superbly powerful. It has many different properties. I love it because it is a blood cleanser. Even in Poland, the name is krwawnik, which actually talks about blood. So it's a blood cleanser, and it can also it has a lot of other properties, but also digestive aid, for instance. You can use that. You can use it for that. Here I've got some just a common daisy. Again, many different properties, many different vitamins, many different minerals, phytonutrients, phytochemicals. And some of the key properties here will be, again, blood cleansing, blood formation, also can be used as liver aid. Here we've got clover. I actually picked some red and some white leaf. Obviously flowers not yet. Later in the year we're going to have flowers. So clover, again, many different things you can use it for, but it's a hormonal balancer used for with people with skin conditions can use it. Then we've got new dandelion shoots here, so nice new tender. So a really great time to use it for salads. And so, of course, this is one of the key liver herbs, as you probably know. Here we've got ground elder. And now, of course, when I'm talking about ground elder, I'm going to mention that you always, if you're not sure, you do not just dump random things in your salad because they look nice. Or it looks like something you can eat. If you're new to working with wild plants, please get yourself an app like Picture This or other apps that can help you identify what you're actually working with. Because not all plants are edible, obviously, and sometimes plants that are edible can be confused with plants that are not edible and are indeed toxic. And ground elder is one such plant, but I will show you that you can actually identify it pretty easily even by the leaf. So as you can see, the leaf of ground elder, right? You've got this triple, you've got the leaves are basically working in those sort of, they're splitting into threes. Certainly I know for sure this is ground elder and I've juiced it and eaten it loads of times. And you can see it on this one a little bit better, see? The splitting into threes. That's quite typical of ground elder, but you have to make sure you identify this properly, okay? Then we've got, moving on here, so these are forsythia flowers, right? I've got a nice one of them in the yard. And it's antimicrobial. Obviously, it contains rutin, big amounts of rutin. You can see it's yellow, right? So you can guess that it contains some sort of phyto nutrients like that. So antioxidant and many different things. And so I use it. I will be making another video about using forsythia for skin salve because it's highly regenerating for the skin. Here we've got dead nettle, so purple dead nettle, lovely little flowers and leaves. So both flowers and leaves can be utilized and will be utilized for this salad that I'm making. And this is, again, lots of antioxidant properties, supporting the immune system. So that's this one. And then here, this again, ivy gilt leather. I spoke about this before. Let's see if I can show you the tiny little flowers here. Okay, so again, we can use leaf and those tiny little flowers for the salad. Both are edible, of course. And this is a great anti-inflammatory and also a pH balancer as well as other things. I'm obviously not going through all the properties of all the plants, but you can see here also I decided to use those brand new shoots of larch. They are beautiful. If you haven't eaten them before, they taste sour. So of course, when you composing your salad from so many different ingredients, you will have those different tastes and different flavors. And this will bring a sour component to my salad. And then of course, something like dandelion will be more bitter and so on. And so these are those shoots right now because they're not, there isn't a lot of resin on them. Obviously later in the year they won't be so nice to eat. Right now they're really nice to eat. Of course you can make syrups and different things for infections because they're very good for upper respiratory tract infections, but also things like cleansing the urinary tract. And also larch, if you're familiar with Bach flower remedies, when people suffer from despair, larch is one of the remedies that can really bring calm into the situation. So it's also, so that's the energetic signature of the plant, but the actual properties of the physical plant are also that. So calming is also one of the things that we can benefit from here. Oh, and one more thing here. Here's just some lettuce I found in the greenhouse that self-seeded after the winter. So like I said, you could just mix these together for a small salad, or you can mix those in with your salad that you buy in the shop. Of course, here I was talking about large, so you remove remove the needles, okay, and you just use that. And you can tear it, you can cut it, however you want to do this. The one that I'm going to be making, I'm going to use organic olive oil, balsamic vinegar, and some roast chicken I've got left over from last night. So that's my idea. Of course, I do encourage you to look what else you can find. So even like I said, if you can't find all these, it doesn't really matter. It can be anything and everything that you can find and identify as edible at this time of the year where you are. I'm just wanting to encourage you to go out there and try this and do this. Because there are just endless benefits of doing that, and not only economical. So here is my finished product. I've kept it simple: organic olive oil, balsamic vinegar, and some chicken. And really, of course, what I presented could just be a base for a more elaborate salad that you may choose to have. And there's one more comment I wanted to make, because sometimes people ask, oh, but what about oxalates and what about saponins and all about those other compounds? Well, what about it? My answer to that is that if you worried about compounds that are, maybe a little bit problematic in large quantities, such as oxalates or saponins, then, well, I'm afraid to say that you have to stop eating plants altogether, because pretty much all the plants you will eat will have some defense system. There will be always something in the plant. But the solution here is quite simple. There is obviously a ton of medicinal properties in the ones that I presented. There's obviously many, many more, hundreds more out there that can be utilized in this way and support us. And really, very simply, what you don't do is you don't load up on one thing. You keep it as varied as you possibly can keep it, and that's the same goes for your diet. That's why a varied diet is the best diet, and here is the same. And obviously you've got this synergistic relationship between those different compounds as well. So the more you mix together, the better. Obviously, if you sometimes want to focus on a specific thing like hormones or liver or whatever, then you use specific plants that can support you in that way. But in this case here, just using those plants just in this way, where we juice, or we put in salads, or we put in other dishes that we make, I suggest keeping the variety going, finding as much as you can in your either in your garden, or if you don't have a garden, then just find a clean meadow somewhere that is reasonably clean in terms of being further away from a big road or whatever. As clean as you do your best. Okay, you do your best. You can't always be perfect. You just do your best. And quite honestly, with everything that is sprayed from the sky, nobody is immune really to that. I mean, even though my garden is organic, of course, I cannot control what is being sprayed on top of my my garden, right? So, however, of course, I don't add anything chemical to it, and so in that sense, it is as good as it's gonna be. Particularly as I'm fortunate enough to live in the countryside. So these are just some comments. Variety, and you don't really have to be paranoid about those different compounds that maybe are not so desirable. Certainly quantity here is always a consideration. But like I said, if you keep it varied, unless you have a specific sensitivity that you already know about, you don't really have to worry about that. So yeah, so that's basically what I do. That's how I feel about it. This is obviously my opinion, and you don't have to agree. But if you do want to give it a go, maybe this is something you haven't done before, that it's highly rewarding in a lot of ways. So yeah, give it a try and enjoy.